Welcome back. I am Kenkra from Kenara Gaming. In the previous episode, we looked at how to mine an exotic deposit. We upgraded our tools. We got attacked by a lot of worms whilst defending a drone. We fully upgraded our base to concrete and glass and got samples of hazardous materials. There's lots of hazards here. Welcome to Icarus. So during my off time, I decided to fill the roof with the wind turbines. As you can see, we require a bit more power for the sorts of things that we're going to be doing. I left this little space here because I didn't want to put a wind turbine directly over the skylight. And then I also added some posts across here just to get one more set of free. So if we go to our flow meter, you can see now we've got a supply of 27,250. So we've increased our power because we are starting to add more and more crafting tables and stuff which requires power. So I'm just getting ahead of it. So if we go into our tech tree, into tier 4, we are now going to unlock our electric furnace. So the electric furnace needs 30 steel ingots, 4 bits of glass, 60 electronics, 80 concrete mix and 8 steel screws. So let's make that. And then we're going to put our electric furnace just here next to the concrete ones. You can see there that this one does require power. So let's go pick up our electric tool. That is now connected up. And this only really adds one more item that you can smelt, but it is a very important one, and that's here, the composites. So the next thing we're going to learn is composites. So we've got our composites here under the tier 4, but as you can see, it is locked. So we need to unlock the material processor to unlock the composite paste. So this requires 30 aluminium ingots, 60 electronics, 12 steel screws, 3 titanium plates and 8 carbon fibre. So let's go ahead and make that. So do a little bit of parkour here just to fit this in nicely. There we go. And again, just going to go quickly connect that up. Okay, so we've got 2 recipes here for composite paste. The first 3 are exactly the same. So each composite paste requires 2 iron ore, 1 silica ore, 1 organic resin, and with this one, it has 1 gold ore. The second recipe, instead of the gold ore, is platinum ore. So I'm going to make a couple of hundred of these. And they take 5 minutes and 33 seconds to do the full 100. So once they're done, I'll be back with you. So at the moment, I am nearly at level 40. I've got 1 tech point left. And I've been debating on 3 different items. I'm either going to go for the titanium sickle, just to replace the iron one here, or the titanium tower shield, which will replace this one here, or, and I'm more than likely going to go for, is the armor attachment pack. You know what? I've convinced myself. I'm going to go with the armor attachment pack. So if we go over to here, up to our menu at the top, we've got our head attachments. So we've got this one here, the supplemental respiration attachment, which gives us plus 30% health regeneration in caves and a 25% chance to resist cave sickness. a storm visor attachment, which is 20% stamina regen during a storm and a plus 5% exposure resistance. And then a supplemental filtration attachment, which is a plus 30% chance to resist poison and minus 10% water consumption. I think we're going to go with that one. So that requires 2 platinum ingots, 4 epoxy and 6 glass. Oh, and we just hit level 40. If we look at our arms, we've got the calibrated grip attachment, which is minus 15% stamina consumed by tool actions, minus 10% wear rate of items. The rubberized attachment, which is plus 10% full damage resistance and a 20% chance to avoid a sprain when taking full damage. Or we've got the pockets attachment, which gives us an extra 5 kilograms weight capacity and an extra 2 suit inventory slots. Well, this is the one that we're going to go for. And if we also look at the legs, we have the pockets attachment there. I will go through the others very quickly. The aerodynamic attachment, which is plus 15% climbing speed, minus 15% stamina consumed by jumping, and plus 15% swimming speed. A noise suppression attachment, which is minus 10% perceived threat while stealth and plus 10% crouch movement speed. And then the plating attachment, which is plus 20% health regen and plus 5% physical resistance. Again, with the legs, we're going to go with a pocket. So that's 2 on the pockets. And then again on the chest, we've got the noise suppression again, the pockets, the plating, and then a nutrition attachment, which gives you 1 extra space in your stomach and a plus 10% on food effect duration. Again, I want to go with the pockets on that. So that's 3 pocket attachments that we want to go for here, which is 4 steel ingots, 8 leather, and 4 rope. So let's craft 3 of them. And whilst that's crafting, we go to the right hand side. Let's put our supplemental filtration attachment on our head. Put our pocket attachments on. And whilst that's equipping, let's look at the feet. So we've got our aerodynamic attachment again, the rubberized attachment, and the noise suppression attachment. Well, I'm going to go with the rubberized attachment. So we need 2 platinum ingots, 8 steel screws, and 6 leather. So let's make the rubberized attachment. Okay, that's all done. So let's equip everything. And as you can see, got a few extra slots there. So that's very, very handy. Right, and here's all our composite paste done, so we'll pick all that up and then just let the electric furnace cook that away. So the next plan of action, I need to bring down my new mower, and whilst we're doing that, let's do the wheel spin for hitting 40 first. I decided not to add the full armor set onto here. Would have been very useful at the beginning, but as we're now into composites, I would like to make the composite armor a little bit later. We have the 3 items here, so one's for level 40, one's for level 50, and one's for level 60. Let's see what we win. And it's the AMR and bullet packs. Okay, so to get this AMR, it's not in the workshop, it's in the biolab. And to make one, it requires a legendary license. So this is the AMR here, the anti-material rifle. So let's click on that, and it shows you here what upgrades that you can put on there. I'm going to click buy. we'll go back and we've got this anti-material rifle here, and it's got the 4 empty upgrade slots. So we'll click on that and it brings up a picture of our gun. So we've got the first empty upgrade slot just here, and there's 3 options that we can use. We've got the balanced stock, which is a plus 20% aim speed, plus 5% movement speed, and plus 5% movement speed whilst aiming down the sights. Then we've got our impact stock, which is 100% hardened point penetration, which is basically your armor piercing rounds, and plus 50% over penetration damage, and that basically makes it so it does more damage when it armor pierces. And then we've got our conductive stock, which is a plus 25% elemental damage, fire, frost, electric and poison. Well, I'm going to go with the impact stock, and it requires 20 of the legendary biomass. In our next upgrade slot, we've got our scopes. So we've got our spotter scope, highlights when aiming on small, medium and large creatures, gives an extra 15% projectile damage and a 175 meter animal highlight distance. Then you've got your precision scope, which gives you an extra 100% critical damage, and then your pinning scope, which gives you a 33% chance to immobilize a target when you hit them. I'm going to go with the spotter scope. Then we've got this one here, which you've got a storage module, which gives you an extra ammo capacity and minus 10% reload speed. We've then got the kinetic module, which is a plus 50% projectile damage and a plus 10% reload speed. And then you've got your preservation module, which is a 30% chance not to consume ammo when firing a projectile weapon. In my personal experience, this has been my go-to. This is absolutely brilliant. When it doesn't use the ammo, it means you don't have to reload, and it procs quite a lot. So I'm going with the preservation module. And then the last one is the barrel. So you've got a silencer, which is a minus 90% firearm loudness and a plus 25% stealth damage. The match grade barrel, which gives you 35% projectile damage and plus 60% accuracy with ranged weapons. And then the last one, the stabilized barrel, 25% chance to not consume ammo and a plus 15% aim speed. The stabilized barrel is where I'm going to go. Now we go back to the workshop, and I need to buy some bullets. The AMR uses the 12.7mm ammo. You cannot craft this ammo. You can only buy it from the workshop. So you've also got the incendiary version, but I'll just stick with the normal, and that is a research cost of 10 biomass, which I've already got, and then each box of bullets of 25 is 100 Ren, and I am making 4 of them. Gives me 100 bullets basically. So make sure that we click on our mount that's coming down, make sure it's highlighted, and then we've got our AMR and 4 packs of bullets. Let's bring that down. And I'd like to introduce you guys to Rora Moa Tango. Just move him out the way. And if you watch the bonus episode, you will see how I managed to get a maxed out mower like this. As you can see here, this is a very nice looking weapon. It is very unique, and it is the only gun in the game that actually uses a proper scope. And you can see here how it highlights the enemies. And it has got to be one of my favourite weapons in the game. It is time for our simple quest. So we've got the build, which we have already done, where we made the big watchtower and put the beacon on top. And then we've got our crazed creature. So we're going to go with the crazed creature. And this is where we hunt down a creature that's been driven mad. So we have to kill a nearby epic creature. We go into our map. You can see just here in G15 the creature that we need to kill. So it is around here somewhere. There we go. There's our crazed creature. I am not going to use the AMR to kill it. Our bow and arrow, and we'll use our knife. And there we go. There's our crazed creature dead. We loot him. We get our black wolf teeth. And then our usual stuff. Let's head over to the pod to get our reward. We've got ore surplus, which gives us copper ore, gold ore, and more copper ore. The settlement assistant of an iron pickaxe, oxite, and iron ore. And then a new species, which is strawberries. So I think we're going to go with the new species with the strawberry seeds, the watermelon seeds, and the strawberries. Danger. As stated in the previous episode, I would like to do a quest later on in one of the Arctic biomes. We're going to look at getting ourselves prepared to go into a more dangerous and more hostile area. So if we go into our tech tree, we need to make ourselves some more armor. So we've got this Arctic armor here, which you can see is locked. Go into our talents, and under the hunting tree, right at the bottom, you can unlock the Arctic armor. We are not going to learn the Arctic armor. The Arctic armor requires some materials that are materials that you gain whilst in the Arctic region. We don't have that at the moment. Whilst we're here on the talent tree, it's been a while since I've added any points, so I'm going to go into an adventure, go into the exploration, and I'm going to put 3 points into maximum health, 3 points into movement speed, 3 points into weight capacity, gives me an extra 10%. And I ideally want to unlock this here, which is the Arctic Master. Gives us 5% movement speed in the Arctic and 15% cold resistance in the Arctic. So to unlock that, we need to put in a few more points. So I'm going to put a couple in oxygen consumption and a couple in water retention. And that now has unlocked the Arctic Master. You do have one for the desert and also one for the forest. So let's put them points in as well. Right, so if we go back to the tech tree, go to the tier 4. We also have the Arctic survival armor here. Again, it requires materials that I don't have access to at the moment. This time it just so happens to be wool. we are going to go with the composite armor, which is probably one of the best overall armors in the game. That is locked at the moment, so we need to unlock the electric textiles bench and then unlock the composite armor. Requires 30 steel ingots, 8 electronics, 15 concrete and 18 steel screws. So I'm just going to put this here where we had our advanced textiles bench. This is obviously electric, so we need to connect it up to the power. That is now connected up. So the composite armour. Each of the armours require aluminium ingots, composites, steel screws and carbon fibre. Grab each of them pieces. And I'm going to take all the attachments off of my hunter stuff and put them on my composite set. So here we go. Here's our composite armour, fully equipped and fully upgraded with attachments. It does also have to be one of the best looking armours in the game. Just a quick FYI, the armour that you can get from the station cannot have attachments added to it. Bear that in mind when you're trying to decide whether to use armour from the station or armour that you have crafted. We've got one last thing to learn before we head off to the Arctic. And if we go to our tech tree, go to tier 3, we've got here the thermos. Basically, it can hold hot drinks, which will help keep us warm. So to make the thermos, we need 8 epoxy, 4 glass and 12 steel ingots. So I've got enough materials to make 2. So pick both of them up. Now, if we go over to our oven or stove, there are 6 different hot drink recipes. All the hot drinks give us the plus 10 degrees on temperature. The green tea gives us a plus 25% health regen. The gorse tea gives us a minus 25% water consumption. The cocoa gives us minus 25% food consumption. The coffee gives us plus 10% maximum stamina and plus 10% stamina regen. Then we've got the honey tea, which gives us a minus 25% parasitic afflictions and bacterial afflictions duration and a plus 20% food effect duration. And then the last one, which is my most preferred, gives us 25% maximum stamina and 25% maximum stamina regen. Unfortunately, this also requires cream, and we don't have the ability to make cream at the moment. So we will go with the normal coffee, and that requires a water container filled with water and 5 coffee beans. So as the containers need to be filled with water first, we will put them in here, which will fill with our cooled water. And then we will make sure we put our thermoses inside the stove first. Click on there, go to 2 and craft. And that's going to take just over 2 minutes to fill both of them and heat them up. So whilst that's filling, let's pick up our quest. Go into the operations. And we're going to go with this one here, which will originally unlock this next path for everyone else. And it's called Ice Storm. And it's combat and killing of creatures and traversal of new area of the region.
So, seems the UDA's noticed you. Told Lagos unit to offer you this one direct. They want Arctic territory opened up. Whole new zone. Untouched, uncharted, and seriously unsafe. Some wild weather patterns happening in there, which has got Group 15 interested too. Upside is, it pays real good. but it ain't a walk in the park. What do you think? Welcome down, friend. Legos unit want access to new territory, but it ain't gonna be simple. There's heavy weather, freezing temperatures, and God knows what else over there on the ice. And there's more. Group 15's got meteorological tech they want tested up there, but the last storm scattered the drop drones to hell. You need to find 'em, fix 'em, set it up somewhere safe, and run a test fire during a storm. Good news is, looks like terraforming threw the region into some kind of storm loop. I told you this one was wild. Check your map for markers, then do what you gotta do.
So if we look on our map here, we've got 3 places we've got to grab things. We've got this one in N12, this one in M14, and this one in M15. Now, one thing it doesn't tell you on this quest bit here is that when you have made the device, it does need to be under shelter or it will not work. So we are going to grab... Hello. Water's over there. Oh, is Roromoa Tango in the way? Let's move him out the way, shall we? Right, now, where were we? Right, yes, so we're going to take some building pieces with us, so we haven't got to worry about that at the time. Let's go see if our thermoses are ready, and they are. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I am now carrying a small pouch. We open that up, it's carrying my health recovery tonics, some anti-poison paste, a extra stack of the AMR bullets, my hammer and my axe, and there's just enough room to put the extra thermos in there. That just saves us 6 spots there. So I've put my building pieces in Roromoa Tango. Right, it is getting late, so we're going to sleep before we go to the Arctic. We're going to head to the opening of the Arctic. I shall meet you there. So we're here at the entrance to the Arctic. This entrance, there is a polar bear that walks up and down, which you can see just there. I'm not going to lie to you, they can get very, very dangerous. They are a lot harder than the ordinary bears from the forest. So we are going to take him out before going past.
When terraforming went south, the temperature up here didn't just drop. It went into free fall. It's a completely different world now. Weather never recovered. It's just one big rolling storm. Legos and Group 15 think their new tech can do something about that. But expect the unexpected, because no one's sure what the hell's happening in the Arctic yet. And that's why you're here.
So we're going to skin this polar bear. Remember me saying earlier, one of the materials here, the Arctic pelt, is what we will require for the Arctic armour. Right, so before we go any further, let's buff up. And let's put our thermos in our water slot. Right, this won't take effect straight away. Unfortunately, you've got here the cooling water from the original, which is a -5 degrees to our temperature. So if we just right click that, that'll get rid of that. And our cold resistance now is at 65%. And and we are heading to our first container, which is just here.
The thing you're looking for, apparently, it's some kind of sonic device. Releases a burst of infrasonic sound, supposed to disrupt the storm cell, break it up. Settle the weather patterns up here. I'll believe it when I see it.
Don't tell me I should think otherwise. Take me with you to the sunrise.
Okay, it's ready. But something like that needs shelter to function, or the storm's gonna tear it apart. Geniuses at the group reckon walls won't stop it working, so you better build some.
I should think otherwise. Take me with you to the sunrise. Got my heart, you won't get away with it. Not this time, I think I can handle it. Don't say shit, tell me I should think otherwise. Take me with you to the sunrise. Got my heart, you won't get away with it. Not this time, I think I can handle it. But I don't say shit.
So I've made a kind of L shape, and there is a reason for this. With this quest, when you put the cannon down,
All you gotta do now is turn it on when the storm's hot. Let it charge up, and wait.
when you've put the cannon down, when you activate it, if it gets exposed to any of the outside air, it will reset and the quest will start again. So I'll give you a quick example here. Let's turn it on. So we're 0%. There we go, 1%. And then if I open this door, it has stopped. You can no longer hear the noise, and it won't start again. So close that door again, and it goes back to 0. So if you do this little L shape here, you can have that activated. And then when you come in, it won't affect it. Right, so we're up to 97% here. One thing I should have mentioned beforehand, although it does say about it being in a storm, does not have to be during a storm.
We're getting readings. What is that thing doing?
Right, so that is the quest complete. I'm going to repair things up, put things away, and I will see you at home. So we've got our mammoth tusk on us. So I will show you what we can do with that. So a single mammoth tusk will give you 400 crushed bones. So let's make that, which is a straight 100 epoxy. So thank you all for watching. On the next episode, we will look to do our farm and bring some farm animals down. If you have enjoyed today's episode, please like, share and subscribe, and I shall see you next time. Thanks and bye.